Hi, everybody. I'm Jeff Lockhart, and I am the Executive Director of Kirkland Performance Center. And thanks for joining us today for Throwback Thursday at KPC. So excited to show you today a great clip that we had in the past from September of 2017 with Grammy Award-winning artist Judith Hill performing for In Concert for Cancer at KPC. And joining me right now is the executive producer of that show and of the In Concert for Cancer organization, Michelle Abrams. And Michelle, thanks for joining me today for this really cool clip. It's good to see you today.
Hey, Jeff, it's great to see you. Always nice to see you and talk music with you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Well, back in September 2017, Judith was on the stage and tearing it up, and it was such an honor. And man, I got to say, I see a ton of shows at KPC, and all my shows, I love all the shows. There's a couple over the years that have really honestly stood out, and where they're just burning it up, and just the level is of musicianship, it's even another notch up. And boy, that was one of the nights, and people still talk about that today. So that was such an exciting night. We were rolling tape that night, and so just excited to be able to show that to the folks today at Throwback Thursday.
Oh, for sure. You know, I'm a super fan of Judith's, and she gave heart and soul that night. Her band is amazing.
Yeah.
Her story is amazing, and she was produced by Prince. Just on a side note, her first record was produced by Prince, and you can kind of feel that sort of soulful R&B vibe.
Yeah.
Through her.
Yeah, I that night when they say tearing the roof off, that was going on that night. They were tearing the roof off. So yeah, that's really cool. Well, hey, Michelle, we'll get to that show. We'll see that in a second. But in the context of that, and we see the logo behind you there. That was an In Concert for Cancer show, and you've been doing this a long time. So talk to us about that. Tell us about In Concert for Cancer, how it started, why that's important to you, and what that does. And I just think it's really interesting in what your organization accomplishes. So I'd love to hear the background about that a little bit more.
Oh, thanks, Jeff. You know, music's always been my biggest passion, and I was fortunate to work for MTV back in the day. Kind of knew I wanted to follow a path in music. I wasn't exactly sure what that was going to be, but I ended up starting to produce some concerts, and saw the joy it brought so many people. And beyond that, actually had a couple of life-changing experiences. I lost both my mother and father to cancer.
Wow.
And the idea behind In Concert for Cancer was really born on the shores of Kauai back in 2006.
Okay.
And I just was thinking of my mother sitting on the beach and thought, wouldn't it be amazing to share the joy of music with others as a way to raise awareness and funding in the fight against this disease? And that was really how the idea was born. And we went live in 2011 with our first In Concert.
Yeah. So, wow, that's great. And has it been an annual show every year since 2011?
It has been an annual show, and it's expanded even into a multi-city tour depending upon the year. But we launched it in San Diego. We spent several years presenting on the flight deck of the legendary aircraft carrier, the USS Midway.
Wow. Very
inspiring venue, to say the least. And then we brought our production back home in 2015 here to Seattle. And of course, was so delighted to spend several years with you all at Kirkland Performance Center.
Yeah, no, that was an honor. And I have to say, too, again, just the caliber of musician. And I know, the Danny Seraphine from Chicago and Bill Chaplin, and, just does such a great job and is such a great bringing spotlighting and support for such a good cause. And then the musicianship in the shows are just so high energy, so packed out. It's just a treat to be there. And, when you're listening to such high caliber music, knowing that you're doing something for such a great cause in the community and helping such great people fighting for some tough issues. So I just want to say thank you for what you do along those lines, Michelle. It's really special.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you and all you do at Kirkland Performance Center and your great staff and team. It's not easy to have a live music venue, bringing artists through the doors. And we had such a positive experience there. And so thank you for all the joy that we've been sharing over the years.
Of course. Yeah. No, thanks, Michelle. It's an honor on our end too. And I also use all sorts of facets to In Concert for Cancer and all the great music. But what's your favorite part of that? When you look back in all the years you've been doing this, and the energy and the time it takes, and it's cool too because there's all the stuff that takes around the nonprofit part of it and all the production part of it. You're marrying a great cause with a love for music and the artist community. But of all those things, when you look back at what you do with this, what's your favorite part that's the most meaningful to you for In Concert for Cancer?
That's such a great question. I think a really big part of it for me is the joy that I see people experiencing in that moment. My husband always reminds me when there's that moment when we go live, Jeff, and I'm able to sit down in a seat and take it all in, he reminds me to look around at the smiling faces and, knowing that we're doing something beyond just presenting a concert event. A concert is a beautiful thing in general to share with people, but knowing that we're a joyful platform to raise awareness about life-saving clinical trials, treatment, research, and by the way, raise some much needed funds in the fight. I think for me, that's a real motivator. And so marrying those two things, being able to see the joy an evening out brings people. They might have been fighting cancer in that moment with us, being, at Kirkland Performance Center, enjoying the show, having survived cancer or been touched by it by a family member, but brings a lot of meaning to see people having a good time.
Yeah, that is awesome. That is really cool. On that note, if people want to find out more about In Concert for Cancer or how they can see it in the future, or how they can support what you're doing, or learn more about your organization, where can they go to learn that information?
Yeah, thank you. Absolutely. Could I share one other thing that I'm excited about for 2021? If we,
that was my next question. Actually, in my mind, I was going to say, and what's in the future for Concert for Cancer? What's next? So, how do people find out about it, and what's next?
Thank you, Jeff. I'm so excited because we are in the home stretch of redesigning our website, which is going to highlight some new programs. And one of those programs is called In Concert for Cancer Backstage. And it's going to be a way that small groups who want to support the fight against cancer can join us for a sort of custom curated music concert experience. We will be bringing groups of people to shows where artists have donated their time, and we'll be custom curating like once in a lifetime experiences. And so that's coming in 2021. We're super excited about it. But if folks want to learn about how they can get behind In Concert for Cancer, whether they'd like to make a tax-deductible donation or look into volunteering or just learn more about us, it's real easy to find us on the internet at inconcertforcancer.org. And the 4 is not the number 4, it's inconcertfor cancer.org.
Cool. That is great. And I just want to encourage everybody to go to that website, check it out. Again, we're having this conversation here. But on Michelle's website, there's all this great information you can see about In Concert for Cancer. And if you're thinking about doing something to support this time and in these times, nonprofits need help, especially all these great organizations like Michelle. And if you're thinking about this is a great organization to get behind. So check that out. Well, Michelle, thanks for hanging out with me today. And it's always good to see you and talk. And now I just want to everybody sit back and grab a cup of coffee. And let's watch from September of 2017 In Concert for Cancer, Grammy Award-winning artist Judith Hill.
Gone through a bit of our own struggles with cancer. A couple years back, Mom was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer lymphoma, and we didn't know if she was gonna make it. It was very, very scary because Mom is my best friend, you know. And it rocked my world to my core. You know, but one thing she said to me is that her faith is what got her through it. And the music was such a big, integral part of the healing. I just remember my mom, after the chemotherapy session, she'd be at home and she'd be at the piano just playing, and it was just that was like the medicine, the best medicine, you know? And she said to me, she said, if I ever get through this, Judith, the one thing that I know God told me and one thing I'd want to do is just to play funk music with you all over the stages around the world, and that's exactly what we're doing here tonight. And I'm so thankful to say that my mom is in full remission, and we are so thankful tonight to be here and share this evening with you all. We want to talk about love. The greatest of all. Nothing can separate you from the love. No height, no depth. No things present, no things to come. No hatred, no cancer. No cancer. No cancer. Love will overcome it all. You have the power within you to fight. Love is the greatest gift of all.